If you've never done a budget before and don't know where to start, we're going to start with a notebook, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do it. Welcome back to Budgeting with Megan. I'm Magan Outlaw, a money mentor and your go-to for all things budgeting. In today's video, we're going to learn how to keep a simple budget in a notebook. If you haven't watched the video before called How Do I Start a Budget, pause this, go watch it real quick. It's a 5-minute video and it goes over 3 steps of what I want you to do before you ever begin budgeting. Has nothing to do with numbers. So go check it out and then come back here. Okay, great. Glad you're back. So let's get started in today's. So like I said, we're going to keep a simple budget in a notebook, and I'm going to show you how to get started. So we're going to keep it very basic. We're not going to get fancy. As you go through your budgeting journey, you can evolve it. You can start using a budgeting planner. You can make your actual notebook really fancy. You can even start doing it on a spreadsheet. And see, I'm a spreadsheet junkie, so I keep our budget on a spreadsheet. But it took me a couple years before I got to that point. I kept it in a notebook for a long time. So I'm going to show you how you're going to list things, because you're not just going to write everything down. We have an order that we need to do in order to make the budget make sense, in order to know where we can cut things out and where we might can move some stuff around. So if you're ready, go grab that notebook, your pen, your drink, and your comfy seat, and let's dive in. And the reason we keep it simple is because if it's too hard, we won't stick to it. And that's not what we want when we're wanting to do a budget. We want to be able to stick with it. We want to make it work for us. Not everybody does their budget the same, and you have to make it work for you and your brain. Some of this stuff I show you today maybe doesn't work for you. Maybe it's a light bulb moment for you. So I hope it's the latter. But if it's not, that's okay. You just need to find the person that does work for you. So if you're ready, I'm going to flip the camera and I'm going to show you my piece of paper, and we're going to go through and create a budget together. We're going to start with a blank piece of paper. I do have a couple of pens that are different colors, and that's going to be something we're going to use here in a minute, but we're just going to start with the black pen. I'm going to move these. So when we start, the first thing you want to do is, I always like to write my budget at the top. You do not have to do that. I'm just extra. So I write grocery list at the top of my grocery list. So then we're going to write income, because that's where we're going to start. We need to know what you bring home every week. You know, you can do this if you get paid weekly, if you get paid bi-weekly, bi-monthly, however you get paid, that's what you need to write at the top. And it is what you bring home, not your gross. So for the, for this budget and to keep it simple, we are going to get paid weekly, and we're going to get paid $500 a week. So I am in Georgia, and if you make $15 an hour, that's $600. You're going to get, 10% federal taken out, 6% state. So that's going to come to close to $500. So that's where we're getting this budget. So that is $2,000 a month. So the next thing you're going to want to do is write down your bills, the things you have to pay to make your house run. And so, of course, the first thing is going to be your rent or mortgage. Then you have your electricity bill. I'm not going to list like a whole ton of bills to keep, so that this is, like I said, keeping it simple. So I'm actually basing this off of my son's stuff. And so he has to pay insurance. He does not have a car payment, but if you have a car payment, this is where that would go next. And then if you have credit card bills, any kind of loans, anything that, that you have to pay, that can get turned into collections you want to put here. And then you're going to list the things that you technically probably need but don't have to have to survive. So things like cell phone, internet, streaming services. So we're going to do cell phone and internet. And I get, in order to work or, to keep up with his family, cell phone and internet is important. And so that does go into the thing. Now, streaming services, if you were struggling to pay bills, that's the first thing to go. You do not need to watch Netflix when you're struggling to pay your bills. So once you have all of those listed, I'm going to go back and I'm going to turn this just a little. Hope that is okay. I am left-handed, and so I'm having so like I said, I'm using my son's information. His rent is $797.95 a month. His electricity last month was $81.88. He does not have to pay water. If you pay water, you need to add that in here. Insurance is $81.52. Cell phone is $98.12, and internet is $91.90. Also, when you're writing this down, you want to write the dates that they are due. So rent is due on the 8th, electricity on the 16th, insurance is the 27th, cell phone is the 10th, and internet is the 23rd. So all of these bills total up to $1,151.37. So we know that we have to have that every month just to cover basically our four walls. Then the next thing you're going to want to write, I forgot to write bills. The next thing you're going to want to write is expenses. So this person doesn't make very much money. They don't have a whole lot of expenses. Of course, this needs to be to your numbers. So on expenses, we have to buy gas, we have to buy groceries, and I'm guessing 9 out of 10 times you're going to be dining out at some point in the month. So go ahead and budget for it so that you're prepared. So, but again, if you were struggling with your budget, dining out, it's going to be cut. You cut that. You want to find things that you can cut without putting, too much stress on yourself. So for gas, I'm going to say it's $200 a month, which comes out to $50 a week. Like I said, I'm in Georgia. This is, I drive an SUV. It cost me $50 today. I filled up and I can go a week on a full tank. Groceries for this person, since you can obviously tell it's a single income, we're going to do $320 a month on groceries, which comes to $80 a week. For one person, that is plenty. You probably actually could get that down to 50 or 60. If you don't believe me, I have a video where I can show you how to do a 5-day meal for $30. Dining out is $160. We're just doing $40 a week right now because, like I said, they're not making very much money. They don't need to be eating out very much. So we have $680. So that's going to leave us with $168.63. I'm going to put that for right now in the miscellaneous category. If this is the first time you are doing a budget, you don't know exactly what you're spending and where you're spending it. And so this is why we're keeping it simple. Like I said, we know the bills that we have to pay. We know we have to buy these things. And the rest we're going to keep here. So when we do spend, But as we spend, we're going to track it and we're going to create categories. So the next month is going to be a little more detailed and we're going to build on it every single month. So now that we have this much wrote down, we got an idea of the money that is coming in, the money that is going out. Let's put this on a calendar. So we need to put it on a calendar. I already have the calendar made up. So this is where the different color pens will come into play. So we're getting paid every Thursday. So in green, I'm going to write down our pay of $500 every Thursday. And then we're going to go back onto the other days that the bills were due. So we had rent was on the 8th, and that was $797.95. And then the electricity was the 16th, and that was $81.88. And the cell phone was on the 10th, and that was $98.12. The internet, it is due on the 23rd, and that was $91.90. And then insurance is the 27th, and that is $81.52. So then you're going to also go ahead and write in your gas, your grocery, and your dining out. You're going to do that on every Friday. I'm just going to start abbreviating. Grocery. Should have wrote electricity at the bottom. Of course, when you are doing this, you can write very neat. You can decorate it. You could do whatever you want with it. So now that we have that all wrote down, we're going to look at what is going to come out of each check. So if with this first check of $500, we know that anything from the 1st to the 7th is going to come out of that check. So we don't have any bills, but we do have gas, groceries, and dining out. Now, if you don't go out to eat, or you only spend $40 in gas, maybe you only spend $60 on groceries, that is all that you will deduct. But for the sake of this, we're going to say that you spend it all. And so that's $170 that's going to come out of your first paycheck. So that's going to leave, oh, I forgot to say, let's say this person started out with $300 in the bank before they got paid. That's what they had the day before they got paid. So they're starting, when they get paid, they have $800. So they're going to subtract the 170, and that's going to leave them with $630 left over. Now, do not go below that $630 because that's what you have left over for the week, because you need to look at the next week. So we have rent that is $797.95. Our check does not cover that. So we have to bring money from the week before into that next week. So this is why it's very important that you write things down, that you keep up with it daily, weekly at the least. Know what you're spending. Now, typically, a person is going to spend other things. They're going to need to stop by the store to get something. They're going to need this. They're going to need that. Not going to do all that here. I may do a more detailed budget later on, but like I said, we're just learning how to do this, so we are keeping it very simple, and we're also learning that we don't have to not spend money that we don't have. So you're going to take that $630 and you're going to add it to the 500. So now on the 8th, we have $1,130. Well, immediately rent's coming out, and then again the 170's coming out, and the cell phone's coming out. So now we have just the rent and the cell phone is $896.07, and then plus the 170. So this week you only have $63.93 left. This is again why it's very important, because one week we had a lot and the next week we don't hardly have anything. So we have to plan, and this is why budgeting is so important. So then you're going to take your $63.93 and you're going to add the 15th. We get paid $500 more. So now we have $563.93. We're going to look from the 15th to the 21st, and we have electricity, gas, groceries, and dining out. That's a total of $343.78. So at the end of this week, we only have $220.15 left. Roll that to the next week. We have $500 and plus the $220.15 is $720.15. This looks like we have internet and insurance, and then gas, groceries, and dining out. I made a mistake. I added the internet to this and it did not go to that week. So let's start over. So for the check for the 15th is only the electricity and the gas, groceries, and dining out. So we're going to have $312.05 left over. We're going to add that to our next paycheck of $500. And out of this check, we have internet, insurance, gas, groceries, dining out. And so when we do that, we are going to have $468.63 left over. And then if you'll notice, this month they got paid 5 times. We only figured everything for 4 weeks. So these last, I don't have the next month wrote out. So when you get here, you would need to know your next month of, do you have anything that first week before you get that next paycheck. So for now, we know we're just going to spend this. And so if you add the 500 to the 468 minus the 170, you would end this month at $798.63 going into the next month. Now, I will say, because obviously we did not spend any other money, so if you could do that, then that is how you would end up. But we know for sure that you're going to spend other money. That's not where you would end. But just kind of seeing how you plan your checks, how you lay it out. Like I said, this is very simple, very basic way to begin learning how to budget your money. So the next thing you're going to want to do after you have wrote down the bills, your expenses, what your income, wrote your calendar, have it all kind of planned out. Now for the entire month on another sheet of paper, we're going to write down everything that we spent. So in the next video, I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm going to kind of keep these kind of separated out so that you can learn one thing at a time, because I don't want to overwhelm you. I hope that made some sense to you guys. Seeing it laid out onto the paper and in the notebook, and how that you will start keeping your budget using the notebook system. it's a good way to get started. Now, if you sit down, you write all these numbers down, you start feeling overwhelmed, you're not sure, maybe you don't even have enough money to cover the month, you don't know what to do. I will say I do offer what I call a budget buddy call, where I will sit down with you, help you map those numbers out, show you where they go, where you possibly could cut back, some ways to work around and start helping you to stretch those numbers out so that you have more money at the end of the month. I will put a link in the description for that. You can click on it. It'll be an entire page explaining more about what those are and what we do in them. You will leave with a spreadsheet. Like I said, I'm a spreadsheet junkie. I know we're keeping it on a notebook, but you'll have a spreadsheet that you can take and put, to use with your paper budget until you can get to the point of doing the spreadsheets. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments. I will answer them to the best that I can. If you like this video, please click the like button. If you want more videos, don't want to miss a video, click that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helps to simplify your money just a little bit more.